a new missile deal, advanced drones, robotic submarines. Okay, on their own, they might just sound like headlines, right? But if you put them all together, you start to see this really clear strategy emerging in India. And it's all about a massive, rapid push to build a high-tech military, right from their own backyard. So let's break down what's really going on here.
But to really get what's happening, we've got to ask a pretty basic question first. How is a war even fought in the 21st century? Because let me tell you, it's not just about who has the most tanks or soldiers anymore. The whole battlefield has completely changed. So what's the answer? Well, today's battlefield, it's dominated by tech that's intelligent, that's autonomous. But for India, there's this third, absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle. That technology has to be homegrown. And that one idea right there is the key to this entire strategy we're about to unpack. So how do we see this strategy in action? Honestly, you just have to look at what's been announced in the last few weeks. There's been this trio of major defense deals, and they perfectly lay out this big push for self-reliance. These aren't just random purchases, you know. They are super coordinated moves in a much, much larger game. And just look at the mix here. It's fascinating. You've got anti-tank missiles from a giant state-run company. Then you've got these high-tech tactical drones from a really nimble private startup. And on top of that, cutting-edge underwater robots from the government's own R&D labs. So 3 totally different technologies from 3 very different kinds of suppliers, but they are all pointing in the exact same direction. All right, let's start under the water. India's main defense research agency, the DRDO, just pulled the curtain back on a new asset for the Navy that is a total game changer for underwater warfare. We're talking about intelligent, autonomous vehicles. So what in the world is an autonomous underwater vehicle, or AUV? The easiest way to think about them is like, well, intelligent underwater scouts. They're these small robotic subs that can go on missions all by themselves to find and identify threats like underwater mines. And the best part, no human lives are put at risk. Okay, and this is where the tech gets seriously impressive. I mean, sure, these scouts have sonar and cameras, but the real magic is the AI inside. They can actually analyze what they're seeing and classify threats on their own using deep learning. They can even talk to each other underwater to coordinate a search as a team. This isn't science fiction. This is the future of naval warfare happening right now. Don't just take my word for it. The head of the DRDO himself called this a major milestone. And listen to the words he used: intelligent and networked. That tells you everything. It's not just about a new piece of hardware. It's about a fundamentally smarter, more connected way of operating. Okay, so let's come up for air. We're moving from the deep sea to the battlefield on land. Because while the Navy is getting these super smart scouts, the Indian Army is also getting a huge boost to both its firepower and its ability to see what's happening on the ground. First up, firepower. The Ministry of Defense just signed a massive contract. We're talking over 2,000 crore rupees with the state-run company Bharat Dynamics Ltd. That is a huge investment in pure lethal capability. So where's all that money going? It's for these things called INVAR laser-guided anti-tank missiles. Now, these are designed to be fired from the Army's main battle tank, the T-90, giving it a really critical firepower upgrade. And here's the kicker. The contract falls under the Buy Indian category. That's not just a detail, it's a huge flashing sign of that self-reliance policy in action. But at the same time, the Army placed another order. This one's for about 100 crore rupees. Now that might seem smaller, but it's for a completely different and just as crucial battlefield asset: advanced tactical drones. And when you put these 2 deals side by side, the whole strategy just clicks into place. You've got a massive contract for heavy-duty firepower going to a state-run giant, Bharat Dynamics, and right alongside it, a high-tech order for advanced drones goes to a private innovator, ideaForge. See, this isn't a coincidence. It's a very deliberate, 2-pronged approach that uses the unique strengths of both the public and the private sectors. And listen, these are not the kind of drones you fly in your backyard. They are built for the absolute toughest conditions you can imagine. We're talking high altitudes and environments with heavy electronic interference. Their whole reason for being is resilience. They're designed to resist jamming, and they can even navigate if their GPS signal gets cut off, which on a modern battlefield is a massive, massive advantage. So we've looked at underwater robots, tank-killing missiles, and super resilient drones. Each one is pretty impressive on its own, right? But when you put them all together, they tell a much, much bigger story about India's entire defense strategy. So when you connect all these dots, this clear 3-part strategy just pops out. First, you develop cutting-edge tech in-house, like the DRDO's AUVs. Then, you give the big, large-scale manufacturing orders to established public companies like Bharat Dynamics. And finally, you tap into the private sector's amazing innovation for those specialized high-tech systems, like the ideaForge drones. It's a complete ecosystem. So what does this all add up to? Well, it's a really coordinated push for both self-reliance and modernization. It's about building a powerful domestic defense industry by combining the scale of the public sector with the innovation of the private sector. And the ultimate goal here is crystal clear: strategic autonomy. That's the ability to equip your own military without having to rely on any foreign powers.
And that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. As India keeps building up this advanced, homegrown military-industrial complex, this isn't just about defense anymore. This is about power and influence on the global stage. So the real question is, how will this growing self-reliance reshape India's strategic role and its relationships all around the world? Now that is something we'll all be watching very, very closely.